Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with this 12 by 12 layout featuring this awesome cut file by Virginia from Confessions of a Paper Addict. It's this cloud cut file which I have backed already using papers from Cocoa Vanilla Midnight Collection, and I've already put foam dots on the back because that takes forever. I think I'm going to use this background piece of paper for my layout, and I'm scrapping this super cute photo of my partner and my son, and this was, my son was maybe 2 weeks old. He must have been 2 weeks old. We were still in hospital, but we'd gone into what was called care by parent, which means I was staying overnight with Link in the hospital in our own kind of room. It wasn't managed or supervised by nurses during the night, but they were just a call away if I needed them, or we could go up to the ward if we needed any help. But it was kind of that stepping stone between Link coming out of the NICU and then going, well, he'd gone into high dependency, and then he'd come out of high dependency, he'd gone into care by parent, and that was kind of the next step before we were discharged to go home. So that was that photo, and I thought it was so cute because they're both sleeping in basically a very similar way with their arms above their heads. It's super cute. So I've already planned out my title, which is going to be like father, like son. I've got a few embellishments and bits and pieces. I think I'm going to use some of this cool sparkling, I don't know if you can tell that it's sparkling, but it's embossing paste. It's from Stampin' Up. I'm not sure if you can still get it, but it's like this shimmery, sparkly embossing paste. I think I might use some of that. I don't really know. I'm just going to have a play, see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little live intro to show you that I have already backed the cut file. Did that off camera, although this one wasn't quite as long because the shapes are slightly easier to back, but it does take a while, so I thought it's a bit easier to do that off camera. And yeah, I'm just gonna have a play and see what comes together. So I'll flip into fast forward and voiceover mode, and we'll see you guys at the end. Okay, here we go. As I said, I've already backed my cut file, stuck the foam dots on, so I'm just kind of having a bit of a think, a bit of a play around. I did think that I wanted to use these clear stickers from the Cocoa Vanilla Midnight Collection. They've got like I guess a watercolour brush stroke almost. Is that how you would describe it? You can sort of see them there. They're like, I guess, the stripes of colour, and I decided to put one under each of the clouds that hasn't been backed with paper. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 empty spaces, and no, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8. 7. Oh my gosh, it's really hard to tell on this tiny screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. 5, 6, 7. 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. And as it turned out, there were exactly 7 of the clear stickers. You can't really see them, to be honest. In person you can, and they look just a bit more like a really subtle kind of texture in the background. You can definitely see the pink one that's at the top left, but the others you can't see really. And in fact, I covered 2 of them up anyway with the photo, so I didn't think that through very well. But I just decided, I wasn't sure how else I would use them, to be honest, and I thought, let's just go with it. So we did. Now I am going to stick the cut file down. I probably could have edited off the peeling off the back of the dimensionals, but I didn't. And then I do have to fiddle a little bit with the clear stickers once I stick the cut file down, because I didn't quite get them to line up as I would have liked, but that's okay. It doesn't take much to reposition them. They're quite easy to peel off the paper, and they don't rip the paper or anything, which is really nice. They wouldn't peel off a photo though, so if you accidentally got it stuck on a photo in the wrong spot, you would just have to live with it because they don't come off photos. But paper, they peel off fine, as you can see there. So I'm just repositioning a few of them. I didn't kind of want them in the middle of the cloud. I wanted them at the bottom. I was happy if they kind of hung off the bottom and popped, I guess, overlapped with the cloud below, but I didn't want them to kind of just be floating in the middle. So I've repositioned those. I'm thinking that I'll put my photo there, and I do put my photo there on the bottom right hand side. I know that's often where I put my photo. I don't know what it is. Is that a design thing? Am I the only one? But I feel like I often put my photo down the bottom and the bottom right. I could be wrong, but that is my feeling about where it often goes. I wonder if it's because, I don't know, I'm right-handed. I feel like my eye travels to the right. I don't know, but that's where it goes, on the right. So I'm just finding some scrap pieces of paper from the Midnight collection to back my photo. I decided to use this blue here, which is the same as the background piece, just in the 6x8 size, but it's exactly the same ombre blue pattern. And because it's only peeking out from the photo, I just thought it would be nice to tie it in with the background. And then I use this stripe. It's more of a light pinky peachy colour stripe. And I use that to back it as well. Again, you really don't see much of it, so it's just a little, I guess, subtle peachy pink colour peeking through. And then I decided to also do a layer of tissue paper. So I'm going to stick that down, and then I do cut around it. I have tried tearing tissue paper. I think I need like a ruler that has the rough edges that helps you tear artistically, because every time I tear paper or tissue paper, it just looks terrible. I don't know if that's just me, but it does. It looks terrible. So I'm not tearing it. I'm cutting it with scissors. I mentioned before that this is a cut file from the Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy store. I will make sure I leave that link down below, both to the cut file but also to the store, because Virginia has so many amazing cut files and they're so reasonably priced that I would encourage you to get them. I've just got a new silhouette. Well, when you're watching this video, my silhouette is not new. You're probably watching this video in October, and I got my silhouette I bought it in June, but it didn't arrive to me in July. So I've had it for a few months by the time you watch this video, but it's mid-July now and I'm filming. Yes, I'm not that far ahead, but we have a fun series in September that we're doing, and so I'm getting ahead on some of my October videos because September is going to be crazy. Yes, and I finished my August videos, so yeah, we're just making sure that we don't miss videos in October, because September is going to be a crazy month. So you should come back to our channel in September, because we are going to have a video every day. Wait, when you're watching this, it will already be October, and we can't come back to our channel in September because September has already been. But you should go back and watch all those videos if you didn't watch them already, because we had awesome guests come and join us for the month of September, and they created some amazing layouts. We've got some awesome guests coming to join us, so very excited about that. And yeah, if you want to watch them, go back. They're all on our channel. Hopefully we've created a playlist where we've got all the videos, so you can just watch the playlist rather than having to dig through and find all of the relevant videos. But yes, we are in the midst of organising September right now, so I am getting a head start on October, is the moral of this story. Now, while I was rambling, I put some frames behind my photo. I was going to use the bigger frame on top of the photo, but I didn't. It kind of enclosed it a little bit too much for my liking. So I actually put 3 frames behind the photo, just as kind of little layering pieces. And as I said in my intro, I'd already decided on my title, which was Like Father, Like Son. And so I was just placing that down now before I do any of the other embellishments. I'm thinking about putting that bunting piece up in the top right. I do move it. It does stay on the layout, but it does get moved. But I just wanted to, I guess, get my title stuck down so I can make sure that I can embellish kind of around it, because, you know, it was a longish title, so I needed to make sure there was space. So now I'm just working on a couple of clusters. I've got some word strips that I want to use. One says sweetness and one says wonderful, because I thought they were good sentiments. And yeah, I'm really just working on the little clusters. I decided to use these, what do you call them? Oh, my mind's just gone blank. Bunting? No. What are they called? Flags? Banners. There you go. Banner pieces with the wonderful word strip up in that top right that I've sort of placed up there. And I put a few of the banners together to create that little cluster. And I'm thinking about adding some chipboard hearts. And I've also created a bit of a cluster down the bottom with the chipboard hearts and the word sweetness. And then I was like, oh, that's right, I was going to add some texture paste. So this is a, as I explained in my intro, what is it called? A sparkling texture paste. And it is by Stampin' Up, and it's white, a white base texture paste with like an iridescent sparkle in it. So it's super cute. It's very subtle sparkle, but it's quite effective or effectual. Both of those words work. So I just put it on the top of some of the clouds, and just put it sort of in a few different places on the cut file. And I'm really happy with how it looks. And I think I'm going to try and use a little bit more of that embossing paste on future layouts because I'm really happy with it. So yes, I did start using a paintbrush, but the embossing paste is just too thick for a paintbrush. So I did get out my palette knife. Instead, I've just got cheap ones from the $2 shop. They are nothing special, but I did have to use my finger to kind of help place it because I didn't want a thin layer. It's quite textured, so there's lots of bumps and lumps and stuff where I've placed it down. And it's not perfect. I got a little bit on the layout, but I think it looks good. So we are leaving it as is. So I'm just finishing off the clouds. I think that was the last one. Yes. So I'm popping that away, and I do wash up the palette knife after, but not right now. So I'm popping that away, and then I am going to come back and I think I stick down my clusters. Yeah. So I am working on my bottom right cluster first, sticking down the chipboard hearts, or the large chipboard heart. I need to pop it up on a couple of foam dots because I want it to be flush with the photo, and the same with the one that I put underneath that, and then I do another one directly on top of the photo as well, and I just stick that straight down with double-sided tape. And then I add the sentiment on top of the largest chipboard heart. So that's that cluster done. Or I do add, I may have already done it, I do add a couple of little labels tucked under the photo, one of which I'll put the date on. I haven't actually done that yet, but I will put the date on. And now I am working on the top cluster. I'm just working on sticking my banners together. So there's 3 banners that I'm just kind of creating, and I think it's a little bit off camera, so it's a bit hard to see, but I'm sticking them together and then also sticking the little one with the love heart to create a flat top. And then I add the wonderful word sticker, or no, word die cut, and just pop that up on foam and then stick that on top of it. So it's like the banners are coming off the word wonderful. And I'm adding the chipboard hearts. So I end up putting 3 around this little cluster, the same as I've got in the bottom right. And I don't think I pop any of these up. I think I stick them all flat. So some are stuck, or one is stuck flat to the pattern paper in the background, and the other 2 are stuck onto the cut file. So there we go, that's the 3rd one. And then I think about this banner. I do want to include it as, I guess, my 3rd element, but I've got a kind of diagonal thing going on and I want to stick with that. So I actually add the bunting chipboard into the middle of the diagonal. So if that makes sense. It's in the middle of the page, just sort of, I guess, be in the middle of the diagonal, which goes top left to bottom right. And I'm just adding a couple of bits of double-sided tape where the banner sticks onto the cut file. And adding that, and I don't add anything else to that. I suppose you could call it a cluster. I don't know if you'd call it a cluster as such, because there's only one embellishment. But I do add that to the page right there. And then I'm pretty much done. I'm going to pack up my ephemera bits and pieces around me, and then I'm going to grab some splatters, obviously, because I can't do a layout without splatters. I'm covering my photo because I don't really want splatters to get on the heads. And then I'm grabbing my Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in Navy, which I say this every video is my favourite mist I own. And once I've done the navy, I'm going to come in with the silver that I also have, which again, I say in every video, is the Marabou Art Spray Mixed Media. It's an acrylic paint based mist in silver. And I'm so glad I bought it. It's surprising how much silver splatter I use. But
I use a lot. And I don't know if it's because I scrap a lot of boy pages now. Again, I don't really subscribe to pink is for girls and blue is for boys, as you can see by this layout where I'm using both pink and blue on a layout of my partner and my son. And I'm happy to use florals. I use whatever I like on my son and partner's pages. I don't care. But I do like silver as an accent rather than gold sometimes. So it's nice to have that spray. So we are all done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll leave the link to the cut files down below and we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.